Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Cam's Retro Gaming. So in this video I want to show off my 3DO collection, but first, as I do every week, we kind of go through any recent pickups I've made. So I sold some kind of random DVDs and a game at one of my local spots here in town, and couldn't pass up a good condition Power Glove. Now this is really just obviously for display purposes, but I have another Power Glove that, a long time ago my dog ended up eating or chewing up some of the fingers. So now I have a much better condition Power Glove just to keep, because I think these are really, really cool, really fun. And, my first introduction was my cousin had one of these, and I remember even back in the day it didn't work. So I think just a cool piece of gaming history. So there's that. And also, I got a pretty good deal on Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. Now this copy is a little beat up, has some scratches, but it was $10. It is complete, and typically these go over 40 or 50 bucks. So, I'll sacrifice a little on condition for a really good deal. So I got that. So those are the two recent acquisitions. So let's get into the 3DO. So I'll tell you real quick my history with 3DO. I did purchase one, not at launch. I didn't myself, but my grandpa bought one for me and my cousin. So I had a 3DO a couple years after it came out, and it was really cool to have in the sense that, nobody else really had one. I had a couple friends that had one, which is pretty rare. But I eventually ended up selling everything, which sort of regret. That's a theme of my life, I sold it when it wasn't worth that much, and then of course now here I am wanting to get it all back. So I ended up rebuying most of the games I had, and I've ended up with two different 3DOs. The FC1, which is the original model with the tray that comes out, and then I think it's the FC10, which is the one I'm currently using. My FC1 has had some capacitor issues, so I need to get those replaced. But FC10 with the sort of like flip top is just way better, I think, way more reliable. Love that thing. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go through the games, and I'll show you really quick my console itself. So with 3DO, I'm not super picky. I've bought two people's collections, and I've some of the games are complete, some just have the CDs in the jewel cases, and some are loose, and some have manuals. So just lots of different combinations thereof. And I'm not too picky. If it's a good deal, like a lot of these consoles, I'll just buy it because I think the console is just so unique and fun. Starting off was probably one of the arguably the best game, or one of the best games in 3DO, is Road Rash. This is one of those I never had as a kid, but I rented a whole bunch and it was kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You didn't really worry about the race sometimes. You just wanted to explore, just who you could hit, or, who you could, I don't know, just the environments and stuff. Not that you could really do a whole lot of exploration, but that's a must-have for sure. Let's see, PGA Tour Golf. I'm not sure if I've even played this yet. I'm not sure who makes this, but I played a lot of Pebble Beach golf links, which we'll get to in a second, but this is one of those that came in a collection. iMercenary. So I bought this at a local spot, and honestly wasn't super impressed with what I played, but maybe I just didn't understand it. But kind of a weird first-person thing. FIFA International Soccer. I think I've played this. Maybe I rented this like when I was a kid. But like I said, some of these I haven't played yet. But I think this is supposed to be pretty good. All right. Tia Carrera and the Daedalus Encounter. I have not played this one yet. But it looks interesting. I remember seeing this when it was, currently available, current, and thinking like, what the heck is the chick from Wayne's World doing in a game? But I guess that is the reason to buy it. Crime Patrol. Now I do have the gun, and this game kind of sucks, unfortunately. But you know, it's a early kind of like Mad Dog McCree FNV light gun game, so it's just kind of cool to have. So Corpse Killer is one of the ones that I rented as a kid. Or actually, you know what? It may have been the Ultimate Warrior, or I think it's Warrior something. I don't know. But Corpse Killer is known to be pretty bad. Whoa. Sorry about that. And I think it is pretty bad. Another one of those. I think it's a digital pictures game, like a lot of these sort of bad 3DO and Sega CD games. I'm not sure if you can use a light gun with this. I'm embarrassed to not know, but I have this. I think this is semi-valuable as far as 3DO games go. Burning Soldier. This was actually brand new, and I opened this because I'm going to play these games. Well, eventually, but this is sort of like a Star Fox-esque kind of rail shooter, I think. I say Star Fox very, very, very loosely. Wing Commander 3: Heart of the Tiger. Back in the 90s, we were starved for anything Star Wars or Star Wars actor related, and this had Mark Hamill in it, and I played and beat this game as a kid. I rented this a bunch, and I think I eventually bought a copy, but yeah, one of the ones I completed. Really enjoyed it. It has like 4 discs, pretty big. Great game, I think, although I haven't played this since, but I really enjoyed it. Then I bought the sequel for the Mac, and it never played right. It kept freezing and stuff, so I never got to finish that, but love that game. Okay, so let's continue on here. Wicked 18. So I also had this as a kid. It's funny, we went on a school trip in middle school to DC, and we ended up in a mall, and I bought a bunch of 3DO games. I think this was one of them, although this is not the same copy. But Wicked 18, a fun golf game. It's kind of like it's by T&E Soft, same. They did Pebble Beach and then Whaley, that golf game. But absolutely insane golf courses and absolutely ridiculous music, kind of like really odd, but fun game. All right, VR Stalker. Now I also have the 3DO stick, the flight stick, and this is supposed to be compatible, but it didn't seem to work well, so maybe it's just my flight stick. But it's supposed to be sort of like an Air 360 combat game. I want to say Starfighter was way better than this, but 20th Century Video Almanac. This is absolutely just something that showed up in a collection, but I'm not going to get rid of it because it's 3DO. Sort of an edutainment. All right, Total Eclipse. Didn't play this. I'm not even sure if I rented it, but this was pretty impressive when it came out. I remember the screenshots just looking amazing, but kind of like a rail shooter kind of thing. Next we have Syndicate. Haven't played this one yet, but I hear this is actually pretty good. So I may or may not play it, but we'll see. You know how it goes, guys. When you're a collector, I try to play all my games, but it isn't physically possible to have that much time. Slam & Jam 95. The only time I played this is on a kiosk when it was out, and my cousins had it, so I played it with them. But I haven't played this yet, but it's supposed to be pretty good, I think. I should say I haven't played this as an adult yet. All right, let's move into the games with cases before we start to get to the loosey-gooseys. Pebble Beach Golf Links. I played the hell out of this game, man, when this came out. Really enjoyed it. I just could not believe how good the graphics were, you know, with the digitized characters, and it was really fun. I enjoyed this game a lot. Station Invasion. Haven't played this one yet, but this is, I think, sort of like Twisted. I played a lot of Twisted, which we'll get to. I even played a lot of the Sampler, believe it or not, because this came with the console. The console came with the sampler, Twisted, and I think I purchased Pebble Beach separately, and then I also had Samurai Showdown. Straw, this is kind of like a Road Avenger type interactive movie kind of game. Road Avenger, and also like Space Ace and Dragon Slayer, that kind of thing. Haven't played this one yet, but got this locally. Is this a second copy of FIFA Soccer? I think it is. May not have even realized that, but I got two. And here's is it Wily? I don't know. This is another great, another golf game. Probably not good by today's standards, but it's hard to go back to these types of games when you've played Neo Turf Masters, but it's still fun, still nostalgic. Got another sampler. Oh, I didn't realize all this. There's a lot of cool stuff on the back, so maybe I'll give this a shot. Starblade. I'm not sure if I've even played this one yet either. But yeah, I'm not sure what this is like. But Killing Time. This is one of the ones I got at the mall, I think. Like I said, back in middle school, when the 3DO stuff was like super cheap. And this game has great atmosphere, but it's not the best as far as first person. I mean, the screenshots look incredible. Really cool atmosphere, really cool kind of story. Played this a lot as a kid, didn't really get super far because it got the difficulty kind of ramped up quite a bit. And like I said, it's just hard to play. It kind of makes you motion sick. And then Return Fire, and then the Maps O' Death. I still have my price tag on this, but I rented Return Fire, and my cousin also had this, so this was like a big deal when this came out. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or as they call it, I think Super Turbo. This was one of the reasons to own the system. Really nice arcade port, but unfortunately, you had to have the controller is not made for this game, so you had to buy like that weird aftermarket controller, which looked all goofy. And then Scramble Cobra. I've never played this. Don't even know what it is. All right, so here are the games with instructions. Zadnos, The People's Party. I think another kind of twisted type of game. And I guess that's the back. No, that's just the manual. Crash and Burn. This was, I think, one of the first games, maybe the first game to be packed in it. And I think the first game I played, you could play these. At least there's a local place where I got my 3DO where you could actually rent, kind of like sit down and play a game for a certain amount of time in the store with all these consoles that, I remember playing Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar like that, and this being one of them, Crash and Burn. Another sampler, and Twisted. I had a lot of fun with this game. I think this game is still fun to play. Basically a bunch of mini games, and it's like a game show, and it's just really weird with a whole bunch of very crazy, zany characters and kind of like clips and stuff. So, and here's the loose section. So I bought a couple collections, like I said, and ended up selling a bunch of doubles of stuff. But these are all I kind of chose the best condition games here. So Foes of Ali, I think it's a boxing game. Well, I know it's a boxing game. Soccer Kid, not the best. Kind of like a weird platformer. Step Aerobics, haven't played that. Balls, weird fighting game, not great. I played the hell out of some Battle Sport as a kid. This is probably one of my favorite 3DO games growing up. And then Blade Force, I just rented that as a kid. Kind of like a weird first-person thing. Way of the Warrior, rented that also, but also had this with the Maniac Pack, which includes this. Battle Chess, and some other ones we'll get to in a second. Cowboy Casino, Siberia. I haven't played either of these yet. Samurai Showdown, just an incredible game. Although it's hard to go back to this once you have the Neo Geo, but this was really fun at the time. Doom. I don't think this is a good version of Doom, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is kind of bad. D&D Death Keep, I think a dungeon crawler. Star Control 2, this is supposed to be really good. Haven't played this yet, but Alone in the Dark, also on the Maniac Pack, not the best. And let's see, Icebreaker, haven't played that. Gex, it's classic, it's Gex. It was like the mascot, he was the mascot for the 3DO. Off-World Interceptor, kind of a fun driving game. Crystal Dynamics. Out of This World, do I have? Okay. I thought that was in the Maniac Pack. It's just Out of This World. Hell, I bought this for my cousin a long time ago, but never played it. The Horde, I rented this a whole bunch. It also has Kirk Cameron in it, which is strange. And I actually, believe it or not, played through Completed Mist not too long ago. I had to have a guide because that game is cryptic. John Madden Football, had this growing up. Bought that for my cousin. Incredible Machine, kind of a puzzle game. I haven't played that. And then I played a ton of Road and Track, who I borrowed from a buddy of mine as a kid. Kind of perma-borrowed. Played a lot of Captain Quasar. Bought that from my cousin. CPU Bach, haven't played that. Space Hulk, Vengeance of the Blood Angels. This game looked incredible, but was so hard. I rented it and did not get far. I think I also have that on PlayStation, or maybe Saturn. Shadow, War of Succession, an absolutely terrible digitized graphic fighting game. Shockwave 2, both discs for that. Not the best game. And the Phoenix 3, another kind of digitized platformer game of all things. Supreme Warrior, there we go. Rented that. Do I have more than one disc? I hope I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. This is all out of order. And then another copy of Twisted for some reason. Real Pinball. I'm not sure if I played that. And then finally, Wolfenstein 3D, which is actually supposed to be pretty good. And I played it. It is. And Guardian War, which is a RPG, which I played a bunch as a kid, never beat, but I got pretty close. So let's quickly take a look at my console. Pardon me, everybody. So here's my 3DO console of choice, FC10. This thing's great. I have this hooked up S-Video, and below it is my CDI, and I have something cool coming for this. I finally got a couple controllers. Now, I did buy them as is because I guess they're hard to test, but I got them for about half of what they go for, so maybe we'll be able to play some CDI stuff next week. But sorry for the long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that is all of my 3DS stuff, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon, and until then, have a great weekend.